Hi there, Scouts and Scouters. My name is Ron, and I am a volunteer with the Greater Niagara Frontier Council. And what I'd like to do with you today is talk about some quick first aid tips. Have you ever been in a situation where you're at camp running, trying to get to formation, or quick enough, or if you're at scout meeting and what you're trying to do is just have some fun? You're playing before the meeting and you fall, you get hurt, you get scraped, you start bleeding, and it could be anywhere on your body. Well, sometimes when we're out in the field, we don't always have the proper equipment, but yet we want to stop the bleeding or, more than that, keep the wound clean. Well, a couple tricks that I want to share with you are very, very simple. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my neckerchief. And this, my friends, dear scouts, this is going to become a, many, many different band-aids. Okay? The first thing I'd like you to do is tie a very small square knot right at the end of the two tips. Okay? So I'm going to assume that you know how to do your square knots, and if not, then make sure you practice them. Okay? So here we go. We're going to make sure that we don't waste too much material on the knot. We don't need a big knot, and it doesn't have to be close to my face. Okay? And there's my square knot. Hopefully you can see that. Okay? Okay. Now, here's the tip of my scarf. Hopefully you can see that. And here's the flat end of my scarf. What you end up doing is this. You take your arm and you stick it in through the flat end. Please make sure that the flat end goes past your elbow. The part that's farthest from my face is going to go over my shoulder. The part that's closest to my face will come on my chest. And my head is going to go right in here. And what I have made for myself is a sling. I can tuck this in here. I can take and put my hands inside my shirt. And all that I'm trying to do is to prevent it from moving around. Okay? If people see you wearing your scarf like this, they will know that something has happened to your arm. Again, one more time. Let me take this off. What you want to do, God forbid, you hurt your arm, you get a broken arm, or you're bleeding. You want to make a very, very small square knot at the end. You put your arm into the flat part. Make sure your elbow is inside. The part of the scarf that is closest to you goes on your chest. Your head goes inside. Your elbow gets covered. You can hold on to this if if you're able to, or you can unbutton your shirt and stick your hand inside your shirt. Okay? Let's take a look at another thing we can do with our neckerchief, a bandana or a head band-aid. The flat end goes on your forehead just above your eyebrows. So you would want to do something like this. With the two ends, please make sure that that pointed part of your scarf is pulled down. What you want to do with your two ends is just make one overhand knot. Just one overhand. And once you do the overhand, and as you see, you're going to be able to see the two ends come out. Now, make sure that you've got your forehead covered and your head covered. Once you have everything covered, take the tip of your scarf and bring it up so that you're getting double coverage, hopefully over the wound. Once you've done that, tie another knot with the two ends of your scarf. And what you've done now is you've protected your head from any gash or any wound that you may have had. Okay? One more time. Take your scarf, put the flat end above your eyebrows. Okay? Take your two ends and make sure your point is down, and with your two ends make a knot behind your head. If you have done it right, you should have your two tails to your neckerchief there. Make sure your scarf is all the way down to your eyebrows. Take the tip of your neckerchief and bring it up over the top so that it just gives you extra material. Go back to behind your head and finish your knot. And again, having something like this would tell somebody that you may have a head injury. Should you have to stop the bleeding, if you take your neckerchief and just roll it, you can actually use your teeth to make it thinner. Roll it. What you now have done is you have now made a kind of a rope cloth so that you could actually, if you had to, you could tie this around a stick, and I just happen to have a stick, if you will. And what I'm going to do is I have a broken arm. So what I want to do is I want to put a splint to make sure that my arm doesn't move. Now, if I do this right, I should be able to get a couple spins out of my neckerchief. So if you take a look, some of these are a little bit hard for a one-armed wallpaper hanger to do, okay? My father was a wallpaper hanger. That's why I always say that. Don't forget to use that third hand that you have, your teeth. And what you can do, if you will take a look at it, what you will see is that I have used one scarf, and what it does is it protects my arm in 3 areas. Now for this stick, all I have to do with the stick is stick it inside my shirt. It's stuck inside my shirt, and it's stuck inside. I'm holding on to it with my hand. And what I'm not going to be able to do is bend my arm. So I'm able to protect my arm. I can make a splint just with one stick. I don't need more than one stick. The last thing I'd like to do with you is I want to show you how to cover your hands. What happens if you fall and you go to protect yourself and brake for your fall, and all of a sudden you come up with scraped hands or cut hands. Easiest thing to do is just open up your scarf like this. Okay? So you can see the bottom. What you do is you put your hand, the palm, over the flat side, and you bring the point of your scarf over the top. And now you just cross over, and then cross over, bring it around again, bring it around again, and again. Remember that third hand I told you about? You can use your third hand. And there you go. You've now protected your hand from dust and dirt. If it's raining out, whatever, you don't need it to get any more dirty, any more infected. The dirtier that this becomes, the harder it's going to be for the nurse or the technicians to clean that wound. So all this is, it's not to protect you from bleeding. That you're going to have to use a Band-Aid for. The same Band-Aid holds for your foot. Here's my foot. You can see where this would be my heel. And all I do is I put my heel into the Band-Aid like such. Bring the tip over, and again, bring one side over, and then bring the other side over. And again, what you have done is you have protected your foot the same way you protected your hand. If you are bleeding very, very hard, then a couple things you can do with your neckerchief. If you've noticed what I've done, what I'm going to do is this. I am going to take my end, make sure that my two ends are together, and I'm going to bring my end right here where the green and the white meet, so that it looks like this. And then I'm going to bring the other end where the green and the white meet, and I'm going to bring it up to here. And if you notice, what I made was somewhat of a square. And now I can fold the square, and I can fold the square, and I can fold the square, and I can fold the square. Or if you don't want, you don't have to. But in any event, should you have a pretty serious wound, there's a couple things that you can do right now. Number one, cover the wound. Number two, put pressure on the wound. And number three, keep the wound elevated above your heart so that it's difficult for the blood to pump all the way up to the open wound. I hope it made a lot of sense to you. I hope that you were able to see many of the uses for your neckerchief. Should you use this as a gauze, then the only other thing that you want to use to tie your gauze, your Band-Aid in place, would be your belt or possibly one of your socks. And that would put this in position. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe through this period of coronavirus. Stay healthy. Work on your advancements. And just enjoy. Take care of yourself and your family. Talk to you soon. See you down the road. Bye.